If you're a real estate agent, you're working hard, closing deals, doing all the things that you're told are the right things to do, but you're not feeling fulfilled, you're not seeing the growth that you think you should have at this point, or something's missing, then this video could be for you. Because that's where I was 4 years ago in my career. And I was doing all the things that I was told I should be doing as a new real estate agent. I was getting clients, closing deals, getting listings, marketing them, but none of it felt like I was working towards something bigger. It just felt like I was working for each deal and chasing deal after deal and just really feeling like I was spinning my wheels in the mud with very little direction or understanding of what the bigger picture of this was looking like. And 4 years ago, I made a decision that I didn't even realize at that time that has completely changed the course of my life and completely re-inspired me to get back in engaged and get motivated and get excited about what I'm doing. And a big part of it is the environment that I was in. And I didn't even realize it at the time because things felt fine. It seemed good, but there was just a little something inside saying there's got to be more. There's got to be something else that we can be working towards. And in this video, I want to share with you what made the difference in my life 4 years ago that I'm so happy I decided to do, because it's completely changed the trajectory of my entire life. And I know that there's real estate agents out there that currently feel the same way that I felt. I hope you're doing super well today. My name is Vincent. I'm a real estate agent here in St. John, New Brunswick with eXp Realty. I've been actively selling real estate for over 7 years now, with over 125 deals closed in those 7 years. My goal in this video is to share a story with you that has completely changed my life. I want to just show you that there could be an alternate solution. There could be another path. And maybe it's not the business that's making you feel this way. It very well could be your environment. And in this video, I want to talk about that because this is what's made the biggest difference. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So I got my real estate license December 2018, and at that time, I was so excited to get into business and just prove myself as a real estate agent. And I was doing all the things that I felt like a successful real estate agent does. I was closing deals. I was working with clients. Within the first 3 months, I had my first closing, and there was actually 2 closings on the same day. So that was a big entrance into the business for me. I was very excited. I almost had a chip on my shoulder. I was just like ready to come in and go, oh, I'm going to do it differently. And I'm going to really show people what I'm capable of. And I was so excited. And that excitement got me started in the business. And that was a big launch forward to get my business off the ground within the first couple of years. But very quickly, I started to feel like I was being capped, or like I was almost hitting a plateau. All my efforts it wasn't compounding in the way that I thought it would. I wasn't feeling like I had the right direction, or I knew that I wanted to use technology and I wanted to use videos and I wanted to use social media, but I didn't feel like I had the proper training or even the people around me to really show me exactly what to do. And I was starting to feel a little bit lost and a little bit discouraged, and very quickly was almost losing the fire that I started with in the business. And I didn't realize why, because I seen a whole bunch of successful real estate agents around me. Obviously, some crushing it and some like in the middle, just like any brokerage, right? There was your top agents at the brokerage, and then, the agents that are kind of like doing good, and then some newer agents. And I was kind of surrounded by all these people, but I didn't feel like I was getting the right information. It just seemed like there was like something hidden, or I didn't feel the camaraderie. For some context, I was in the military for quite some time. So my version of camaraderie is significantly different, I guess, than what most real estate agents would experience. But I was looking for something like that, and I just wasn't feeling it. And it was really discouraging me. It was actually starting to get me down. And I really didn't even realize that that's what it was at the time. I just knew that I was losing my fire. So for the longest time, I thought I was the problem. I thought I just needed to work harder. I needed to do more, have more conversations. Like I was like, no, this is me. This is a personal problem. I just need to work harder so my business grows. I need to put more hours in. I need to really just grind. And that's what I thought. And I wasn't even open to learning new things because I thought that learning was going to be a waste of time and I just needed to work. What I need to do right now is work harder. I need to make some commissions. I need to find some clients. I need to help some people buy or sell. And that was really the spot that I was coming from. This went on for about 3 years until somebody out of the blue, completely serendipitously, sends me a message saying they want to meet. And as a real estate agent, I just said, okay, sure. We set up a time and I went and I sat down with this individual for a coffee at the local coffee shop and they pitched an opportunity to me that I could not get out of my mind. And that opportunity was eXp Realty. It interested me for multiple reasons. I liked the fact that this brokerage was forward thinking, that it seemed innovative, a cloud-based brokerage, leaning into all the things that I really wanted to know more of, technology, social media. And after I started exploring this option a little bit, then I found a group called the Wolf Pack. And the Wolf Pack is an organization within eXp Realty with over 3,000 agents globally now. And they specialize in teaching agents social media training through multiple courses provided by the leadership at the Wolfpack, Mike Sherrard and Connor Steinbrook. There's weekly mastermind calls, Social Agent Academy, and all these things that I heard. And I was like, that's what I want to be part of right there. These are the things that I'm looking for right now in my business. That's all I really knew about it. And I had a conversation with Mike Sherrard and it was incredible. And he was so in the zone, so motivated, and just so inspiring that after having that conversation over a Zoom call, I remember feeling like that's what I need. I want more of this. I want to be around more people that are inspired. But I was still critical. I was still very critical of it because, you know, I only knew my brokerage that I was at. I really didn't know what it was going to be like making the switch over. I really didn't know. It almost seemed a little bit too good to be true. I'm going, how are they giving all this stuff away? How is everybody doing so well over here and thriving with social media, which from my experiences almost seemed like a hard thing to do. From the people that I was around, there wasn't many agents completely crushing it solely from social media from my past brokerage at that time. I took the chance. Eventually, the opportunity was ringing in my mind so much that it was something where I went, I need to take this opportunity or else I'm going to drive myself absolutely insane thinking about it all the time. I moved my business over to eXp. I joined within the Wolfpack, and that's when I started to plug in a little bit into what the Wolfpack has to offer. And even at this point, I was super, super skeptical. I'm going, nobody's giving away their best tips and tricks weekly on calls for free. There's just no way. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make sense from what my perspective was, what my lens of real estate was. And I started getting on our weekly calls. We have mindset calls on Mondays, production calls on Tuesdays, and we have phenomenal guest speakers that come in. I was always just skeptical going, what's the catch here? What's the catch? When is there a hook that's coming? Something we're going, oh, that's okay. You know, like I was just skeptical because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to people collaborating in this way or sharing so much information, sharing the best things, like the things that are actually helping them grow their business, like the things that are helping them stand out in their marketplaces. They were sharing this weekly, and it was completely baffling to me. So this went on for weeks, months, a year pretty well of me plugging in every once in a while to these calls, checking in, and the same thing was going on week after week, month after month. People showing up to the calls. We had agents sharing their success stories at the start of every call from things they learned on the past calls. And it happened week after week after week. And I said, okay, there's got to be something to this. Then I start looking into how can I go around, maybe meet some of these people? Because again, it's a global brokerage and a cloud-based brokerage. So a lot of stuff that happens is over Zoom calls. I wanted to get to know some of these agents that were leading these calls and really helping me grow my business. So I decided to go to one of the first conferences at eXp Realty that was here in Canada, in Vancouver, on the other coast of where I live. So I was like, hey, it had been my first time in BC. I'd been all over Canada besides BC. I was like, I'm gonna go to that. Driving downtown Vancouver right now. It's the furthest west I've ever been. Check out EXPCon with this incredible lad. I'm going to take what I called at the time a risk, because I never even thought it was worth it to invest money to a conference, because I thought that that was a waste of money and I should be putting that money towards something in my business, maybe some marketing or doing something. But I did not realize that I had it all backwards in my head. And what I really needed to do was invest into my mindset and get around a whole group of super successful, super energetic.
I put out 2 videos a week for the last 6 years straight, and I've never missed a week, right? And they just get a little bit better every time, and it grows, and you get better and more comfortable, and now you get excited about it. But
super positive, and agents that were excited, they were fired up, they were motivated. And as soon as I got around that, I started to feel, I went, oh, there's that spark again. There's that spark coming back. There's that feeling I had when I first got into the business, like the world's my oyster, like anything is possible. It was in that moment when I was around other agents in the wolf pack, and I started to feel that, and it was filling me up, and I went, oh, I'm around my people.
Right? So just be consistent. Commit to a cadence that you can consciously say, I can do this for the next year at least, and get after it. Delayed gratification.
I'm now somewhere that I feel like I should be. I'm now aligned with people that inspire and motivate me, and they're excited, and it's contagious, and I'm actually getting chills as I'm saying this because it's completely real. That moment right there, that was one of the biggest ahas for me. It was just something I knew viscerally that this is the right spot, and it was almost like a tribal instinct that was kicking off. From that moment, when I went to that conference in Vancouver, that was about 3 years ago, I've been to 6 conferences since. I try to make at least 2 a year because that changed my life. And it was something that I was so profoundly almost confused by, because I always thought that the last thing I needed was a conference. I felt like I had the motivation. I felt like I had the drive. I just felt like I needed to work harder. I was doing the wrong things. I need to work harder to make more money in my business. And once I went to those conferences, I realized something. I wasn't investing into me. I was putting money into all these external things, but I wasn't investing into my growth, my mindset. And once I started doing that, once I started to get around these agents that were inspiring, that had larger visions for the future, that were creating collaborative groups where people genuinely wanted to see you succeed. Like if I wasn't making videos, people would message me like, "Hey man, what's going on? How come you're not staying consistent on YouTube?" Like it was an environment of people that were actually lifting each other up. And I remember my first few months going, it's like it seemed fake because I wasn't used to it. I was so not used to it. It seemed so foreign that seemed fake. But now it's a culture that we've now established, even in my own revenue share organization with our agents. We have some of the most collaborative group of agents that I've ever worked with. And it's so nice because what we've been able to do is bring that culture that I've experienced through the Wolfpack and bring other agents into it. And they get all of the calls. They get all of the training. They get all of the same things that I plugged into that helped change my business. And it's helped reignite a flame in a lot of these agents. And to be able to share this experience, and you know, I've put a lot of thought into this, and I honestly believe that doing this business with other like-minded agents while we're all succeeding is way better than doing this business alone and doing better and investing all the time into myself, because that's lonely. So it was never about needing to work harder, grind more, put more hours in, make another phone call. What it was getting around the right people so that I could learn the right things to do to get the most return on my efforts. And for me, that was social media. That was content. That's why I've built a YouTube channel, because I have clients now coming to me directly. And that's how I've grown my business over the last 4 years. I went from chasing deals to clients coming to me through my social media channels. And that's been a profound effect on not only my business, but also on my life too, because it's made the business much more enjoyable. Now I get to do lead generation the way that I want to. And now I get to resonate and put a message out, and people contact me if they want to work with me, as opposed to chasing everybody around all the time frantically. It's completely changed the whole feeling of this business. And the beautiful thing is I've been able to share this experience with other agents too. And now here I am 4 years into EXP, sponsoring over 20 agents and growing. And we're all doing this together. We're all lifting each other up. We're all sharing with each other. And that's just the agents that I sponsor. There's over 3,000 agents globally in the entire Wolfpack. And we meet weekly and we share the playbook with each other. And we get on calls and we can ask questions. And there's training courses. And there's all the things that anybody could need to succeed all right here. And it's what I've been looking for. It's the collaboration. It's the culture. It's the environment. People lifting each other up. People actually inspiring each other weekly. And it's been something that's completely changed my life. So I didn't make this video to convince anybody of anything. That's the last reason I did this. I made this video because I know that there's agents out there who feel the same way that I felt 4 years ago when I was completely stuck. I felt lost, uninspired, and lonely. And this business can make you feel that way sometimes, but it doesn't have to be that way. I just wanted to share that.